Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new episode. We are here today doing the Reading FC Royals Roundtable, and this is going to be a bit spicy to kick things off. And then later on in the show, we will be doing the Sport Show, where we will be reviewing the Premier League of what happened this week. We'll be talking about the upcoming women's quarterfinals the day that this is released, and I will give my predictions to that. And then we will be finishing off with some NFL Week 2 predictions and part of week 3. We will go through the week 1 predictions of how many we got right and what we got wrong, and we will go on from there. But let's kick things off with this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. We are here going to be kicking things off with the Royals Roundtable, and we are going to be discussing the match that we had recently. I was going to say something else, but then I held myself back from that. From it, and I've got my phone here because I'm going to come up with some statistics and some stats for you as well. For this, we're going to be reviewing the 3-2 loss that we had to Barnsley, coming away from that, and the reactions we've had online. If we look at things here today, they had 15 shots compared to our 14. Same amount of shots on target. They had 6 shots off target compared to our 4. They had over 80 plus more passes than what we had. We had the same amount of clear-cut chances that they did. They had more tackles won, more aerial duels won as well from it as well. And they committed more. They won more fouls as well. Going into this as well, and then losing 3-2, Josh Earl kicking things off with a goal to them, then Jack Marriott getting the goal, and then Davis Killer Dunn getting the goal, and Andrew Phillips penalty with Daniel Kirawawa able to tie things up. Not tie things up, make it 3-2. Joel Pereira starting a goal with Ahmed, Barnes, Derek, and Jacob. Then in the midfield, we had Elliot, Wing, Savage, and up front, we had Paddy Lane, Marriott, and Daniel. Coming off the bench was Joel Dossett, Liam Fraser, Kamara Doyle, Mohamed Kamara, and Kelvin Shalabaman, all coming off the bench. I put out because there's been a lot of negativity, a lot of comments that I've been saying online as well regarding the match and the reactions to some of the fans. Regarding that as well, there's been a lot of negativity, and I'm just going to highlight some of them as well. And I think someone has said, forget Nibs, Bindon, and Bengay, etc. Increasingly clear that Nigel Gibbs was our biggest loss of the season. Some of our attacking interplay has been generally very, very good today. Ahmed, Dazaskas, plus a Black Four that are never in line equals bad coaching. I'm not going to shit on Ahmed. He's going to have poor games. He's a young player. He's someone who is going to make mistakes. It happens. I am not worried in that whatsoever. But the thing is, when you see some of the reactions, and I want to talk about my friend here, Adam Jones, who's been a friend of the channel, and this is some of the reactions he's put today. Hunt's time was up after the Swindon game, but today reaffirms it. Coaching overhaul needed. Could have at least added another coach during the summer if Hunt, understandably, wasn't going to be getting sacked then. Coaching staff inadequate. Fans have known this for a while. He's also put Phil a lot lower than I thought I would, despite knowing we would have a tough start. A combination of factors for me. Silly comments in the media this summer, not signing a striker despite a fine window, mixed messages on free agents, poorer results than I imagined. And then Luke Newton has also replied to that, saying, unfortunately, as much as I love Hunt, I think he's into a bit too deep. Thrown into a big job with very little experience. His tactics are in existence and fast with building his first team from scratch. I think his inexperience is being made clear. I think that seems to be the genuineness of the talking points that I've seen so far, is very much of the fan base of, we still respect Noel Hunt, we still like Noel Hunt, but there seems to be, and we talked about this recently on the Wednesday show, Building to Barnsley. Thank guys for all those people that were able to watch that we did say his tactical inept is going to be his downfall. If he had 2 weeks to sort out everything from the loss that we had against Swindon. It was the draw we had after that as well. I'm also checking the fixtures because I can't remember from my arse to my elbow anymore. with the win over Port Vale, and then we lost to Swindon, and then we had a week and a half until this game here. And it does feel like 11 days, that it does feel like that things haven't progressed. If you've got this many chances with the quality that we've got, we should be winning this game. Defence looks like it's non-existent. You've got a very good centre-back in Finn Burns. I like him. But we need Paudry O'Connor, who's coming back but slowly is. And then you've got Derek Williams as well, who's very good. Jacob, very good going forward. Needs to be worked on his defensive positionings and what he's doing going back. But if you're looking in the total of that back line, it's a very good back line, especially with the goalkeeper in the goal as well. It just feels like. I also put a poll out. If you haven't already, down below, as you can see down the ticker, is all my socials to all of my channels as well. So make sure you go and give me a follow on them. But I did put a poll out earlier on yesterday. I'm recording this on Saturday night because Sunday I have a very big week, couple of weeks coming up. So I am trying to slightly get ahead of myself and a little bit of the factor so I can rest. And it was a question for the show: Noel Hunt in or out? And at this precise moment of me recording at 10:15 at night, there is 88% of people with over 100 votes that have said out. And I did say I would give him until the end of September to give my honest opinions. We've got Leighton Orient coming up this next Saturday, where we will be doing a preview builder to that coming up for you on Wednesday, a Soul Reading show. And then we've got Wrexham in the cup. Then we've got away to Stockport, and then at home to Sheffield at West Ham United. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say this clear. If he doesn't win against Leighton Orient on Saturday, the 20th of September, I am very much in the Noel Hunt banner out as manager. Because stay as a legend, but out as a manager. We know that under Ruben Selles as well, it was a very slow start until we got that one win and then we went on a run. But we already won a game this season. We beat Port Vale 1-0. Drew away against Bolton. But Bolton, another side that's going to be very, very challenging up the very top. We beat Portsmouth in the cup as well. Beat Wimbledon in the cup as well. There seems to be this missing factor. I will not go by we haven't signed a striker, because we fucking have. We've got Jack Marriott and we've got a Shalaberman. Those are the strikers. Those are the people that are going to be our strikers. Now, I am not laying on the fact of they're not worthy, but what I'm saying is hearing people say that we haven't signed strikers is a bit of a bullshit maneuver. And it's a cop-out because we have got strikers. We also have 3 in the under-21s as well. May not be good, may not be with it, but we do have the strikers. It's the inept ability and the tactical decisions that are not going to make us work. We do not need a tall, strong target man. We need a guy who puts that fucking ball in the back of the net no matter what. And at the moment, we do not have. We've got Jack Marriott. And I'm excited to see what he brings, because he does bring something different. So overall, it's a negative fan base at the moment, overall. And it can get positive. A win on next Saturday, and then a win against Wrexham. Get a point out of Stockport. Win West Ham United under 21s. Finish September strong. Because I really do feel that after Leighton Orient, it could be night-night. I'm also surprised, as of recording, we haven't heard night-night from Ruben Selles after his incredibly shocking start that he's had at Sheffield United. And also, I would not be surprised if Ruben Selles comes back. I'm going to check Sheffield United while I am writing this. But as he is still the cover photo of the Blades, then I am going to say he's still in the job as of this recording. So when we come back to you on Wednesday, we're going to be discussing more about Noel Hunt. And I'm going to, because I always talk about how he's inept and what he's doing is wrong and how he's not getting the right thing out of the right players and how things are not going well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-record a day before, and I'm going to do a tactical video. And in this tactical video, I'm going to break down what I would do if I was under the Reading manager's shoes right now. And I'm going to explain to you how I would get the best out of these players, how I would set the coaches up, how I would, a bit like a football manager-esque video, but this time I'm going to do it about Reading Football Club. I'm going to be doing it about how I would set things up, what would be my main task, what the tactical solutions I think we need to do to push ourselves forward, that type of thing. I think that's probably the best thing I could do. I'm going to give my opinions, my thoughts, my honest ways of doing things, and then I want you guys in the comments as well to tell me what you would do. How would you change things? I don't want to be hearing, oh, shit football, get him out. What would you do? Give me a tactical breakdown. I want to hear exactly how you think you would break these down. Be very open. If you don't really know, but you want to go this sort of direction, that's absolutely fine. It's all about having an open discussion, and that's what we do here. Right. Coming up for you now is a little bit more fun. We're going to be talking about And Postecoglou out, Nuno Espirito Santo in. We're going to be talking about the Premier League results, Super Sunday that's happened, my thoughts on the Women's Rugby World Cup, plus my rant about the Miami Dolphins is all coming up for you any second now. That is very much right for you. We are here now doing the most important part, and that is sports hot takes. We're going to be talking about this now, and we're going to be reviewing the Saturday fixtures and previewing Super Sunday as well. And let's get into the Premier League. Arsenal kicking things off against the new Nottingham Forest of Ange Postecoglou's Nottingham Forest. Now, the writing was on the wall for Nuno Espirito Santo, I think, before the summer even started. The signing of Edu has caused a rift in the background. Arsenal fans were very happy to see him go. I'm going to have a drink. And he's now gone to Nottingham Forest and he's become an overviewer for all of the brands of Myronakos's Forest brand. Because he's got Olympiakos as well. But getting into the game, Arsenal coming up with a 3-0 victory. And what I'm going to say is I saw an interesting side to interesting sides to this. You've got two sides. You've got the Premier League side. Nuno Espirito Santo, highest win rate of a Nottingham Forest manager in their history. Getting them to European football. And guiding them away from relegation. Should have all the power he wants. To a certain extent, wants to get the players he wants, and wants to get them the way of playing to distinctive brand he wants. Now let's move over to the other side, the owner, and Nuno's past. Nuno fell out with everyone at Wolves before he left. He then went to Spurs, was sacked after, was it 30 days, 27 days in the job, not many home games, sacked because he fell out of everyone there. Went to Saudi Arabia and didn't last long there. Went to Nottingham Forest and last long. There's a common theme behind Nuno Espirito Santo, and that is he seems to piss off people before he leaves. And you would have thought with a man that has done so well at Nottingham Forest and where he's been before. So Wolves, he did an absolute miraculous job with. You can see Wolves today losing their fourth game in a row, the first time in their history that they've lost the first 4 opening games of the season. You've then got him going to Spurs, a good side, not getting off the ground there at all. And then he went to Saudi, grab some money, and then come back to the Premier League and Nottingham Forest. And I think if you look at both sides of the argument, right? Edu coming in is a Miriakos man. And he seems to have wanted Edu for a while. Nuno Espirito Santo is a man that he feels he's a bit like, yeah, fine, we'll just get another one in. You can see the positives in Ange Postecoglou. He always wins a trophy in his second season. He said the same thing as what he'd done here. I'm here to win silverware for Nottingham Forest. I don't see that happen. He had more chance of winning stuff at Spurs. Spurs had the far superior side. And they showed it today as well against West Ham. But West Ham seemed to be dog shit so far. But I do see that Graham Potter gone very soon. And I see Espirito Santo or Jose Mourinho turning up at West Ham to really get them back on the ship and really get things back going. I am just interested to see the philosophy of the way things are, because of the kicking things off, losing 3-0 to Arsenal. And you can already tell the Forest lineup already 4-2-3-1 with it before. And Arsenal, it was a convincing performance. Gyökeres getting his goal after an assist from Eze. Martin Zubimendi getting the goal. Absolute thunder bastard a goal from the edge of the box, and a header goal as well to kick things off. Right, let's move on. I think it's going to be a failure for Ange Postecoglou at Nottingham Forest. That's not me thinking that. I just think we've seen the tactics. It hasn't worked unless he's had 6 months, 5 months, 3 months to hone in those tactics for Premier League ready. We will see. Brighton, we're picking up an absolutely incredible victory against Bournemouth, picking up a incredible victory against Brighton, which now sees Bournemouth in fourth place on 9 points. 3 wins from 9, 1 loss, a goal difference of +1. Brighton now down to 13th in the league with the opening day of the first 4 games. 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses, -2 on 4 points. Not as bad as Wolves, though, losing all 4. On -7. Aston Villa not doing great, but we'll discuss that in a minute. Crystal Palace going to a 0-0 draw. Had the majority of the chances here today. Sunderland didn't have a shot on target. 6 shots in total for Sunderland, 14 shots to the 6 on target for them. And Yerry Pino starting for the first time in Crystal Palace colours. Taken over from Eberici Eze and Christianos Ukic coming on for him, which is good for Sunderland, a good point for them, which will now take Sunderland up to 7th in the league, while Crystal Palace stay 8th in that league table. Next up, another 0-0 draw where we have Everton versus Aston Villa. And it was a bit of the Jack Grealish derby, shall we say. Both teams, he started the game for them as well. For that, on the bench for Everton as well, Merlin Rohol and Tiano Barry come on with Tyler Dibbling, an unused substitute for Everton and Aston Villa as well. A bit of a Jadon Sancho did not come off the bench, but Victor Lindelof did for them, with Ian Matson, Pau Torres, and Jadon Sancho not being used, with Harley Elliott coming off the bench for Buendia as well from that 0-0 draw. Poor start of the season so far for Aston Villa. Currently sat 19th in the league. Played 4 games, 0 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Currently sitting 19th, but Everton absolutely flying up the table so far. 4 games so far this season, 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, +2 goal difference with 7 points. Great start for Everton so far. Jack Grealish as well, recently winning the Player of the Month for Everton. Fulham carrying on with a good result with an own goal that they got scored for them in the 94th minute from a set piece, which sends them up to 10th in the league, and Leeds currently sit 15th. Newcastle United's new £85 million, 6'22" striker comes on when scores an absolutely traditional headed goal for them and gets his tally up and running inside of the Premier League after Alexander Isak has left to go to Liverpool. Next up, we have the West Ham versus Spurs game. West Ham going down to 10 men in the 54th minute from a straight red card from Souček but Spurs were already 1-0 up with Papa Sarr, and then you just imploded again at home for West Ham. West Ham, who currently sit in 18th in the league, played 4 games, won 1-1, lost 3, -7 goal difference, which now sends Spurs up to joint first in the league alongside Bournemouth and Liverpool. Liverpool can go back on top of the league tomorrow. But then we also had the late kickoff on Saturday, where we did see Brentford go up against Chelsea. A 93rd minute equaliser from Fabio Cannavaro was able to get the draw. They thought they already won it, Chelsea, with Cole Palmer and Moises Caicedo with an absolutely incredible thunder bastard shot. We beat the goalkeeper, and now we've got a Super Sunday. Burnley will be kicking off against Liverpool at 2 o'clock. Couple of hours after this video goes out. Liverpool should be coming away with a win here and extending the lead to 3 points over Arsenal. And then at the Manchester derby, Manchester City versus Manchester United going into this. You will see Manchester United having a weird start so far of the season so far, able to beat Burnley, drew against Grimsby, but lost on penalties, drew against Fulham, and lost to Arsenal for the opening games of the season, where with Manchester City, they had a great start, but then they've just fallen off. 4-0 away win at Wolves, and then losing to Spurs 2-0, and then losing to Brighton. The new arrival of Donnarumma and the new goalkeeper arrival for Manchester United will probably be the talking point. Andre Onana has gone to Trabzonspor, where he will be the #1 goalkeeper and the highest paid player in Turkey. Playing for them in goal. Let's see how he gets on as well. But I'm going for a Manchester City win in that, because where is it? It is at the Etihad Stadium. I think the Manchester City will have too much for them. Next up, we are going to go into the Women's Rugby World Cup. The quarterfinals are coming to your televisions this weekend. If you haven't gone to see, go onto BBC iPlayer and be able to watch the highlights of some of the games that have happened for you. But we already had some games already this weekend. Australia have beaten South Africa 46-17 in an absolutely one-sided affair, and one of the closest quarterfinals that we were thinking about having as well, which was Canada versus Australia. Canada were able to come out on top 46-5 in that game, and it was very much a one-sided affair. Why is everything glitched for me? Hold on. Hold your horses here. Quarterfinal. No, it was New Zealand, sorry. New Zealand beat South Africa 46-17. Canada beat Australia 46-5. And then when this comes out at 1 o'clock, so an hour after this video drops, but you will be able to see it. France versus Ireland, very close contest. I'm going to have France on top of this. And then we will then be having England versus Scotland for this, and the winners of the France v Ireland, England v Scotland, will be facing each other, because we already know that Friday the 19th, which is the Friday coming up, Friday night at 7 o'clock, we will be having New Zealand versus Canada in the first of the semi-finals. I am going for a New Zealand win. And then Saturday the 20th at 3:30, which I will miss because I will be at the Reading game, but I'm hoping to catch the highlights so I can discuss it with you on Sunday, which will be most probably, I'm going for England versus France, and I'm going to be going England versus New Zealand for the Rugby World Cup final. 2 of the best teams in the world. England ranked #1 overall. That will be coming live on Saturday, the 27th of September. Am I fucking around for that? I'm just checking the Reading fixtures. I think Reading are away at that time. Yes, they are. I will be watching that game after drowning my sorrows. I've probably lost to Stockport. But that will be the fixtures for that. And it's an interesting time. Rugby World Cup, one of the most highest viewed, attended as well, Women's Rugby World Cups of all time. No fixtures have been available. I have fucking tried to get fixtures for me and my daughter to go and watch it. Bisto gravy. Absolutely phenomenal job as well. Other things as well. Formula One that happened last weekend. a great start to the weekend that we were talking about. A weird Monza, Max Verstappen winning by quite a length against Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. But there's always been that talk this week about the separation of why did Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri separate or switch over? What was the point? And in my opinion, I think, and I'm going to be different than everyone else, I think it was the right thing to do. Yes, it was very much of the but it wasn't a racing incident. It was what happened in the car. It was the pit incident. Yes, but also at the same time, if we remember, the Lando Norris has also done favours for Piastri before, which is interesting from that because now Oscar Piastri sits at the top of the table with 324 points, with Lando Norris second with 293. We're looking at a fucking big points difference there. I'm not even going 31 points. Bear with. $293. 31 points. I can do maths. With then Max Verstappen in third, overall George Russell fourth, Charles Leclerc and thank you, Charles Leclerc, and then Lewis Hamilton, Alex Albon, Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hadjar, and Nico Hülkenberg finishing in the top 10 with McLaren number 1, Ferrari number 2, Mercedes number 3, Red Bull number 4 overall. With that, and then also at Monza, Lando Norris with his first pit stop of the race got the fastest fastest lap award as well from that. The fastest lap results as well has so far been mainly McLaren's, and it looks like a few Mercedes in there as well. But it's interesting because coming up for us next, which will be next weekend, will be the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a very fast-paced circuit. This should sit McLaren to a T. So I'm excited to see exactly how things go. The race will be live as soon as this video drops next week. So next week I will be doing my predictions for this when you're probably watching the race or after the race to see how fucking wrong I am to that. So it'll be interesting to see how we go on from there. England cricket as well. Let's get into a little bit of cricket. We're going to go through all sports. I'm telling you, we're going through all of it. But the England cricket men have done an absolutely ridiculous stats and statistics that they did yesterday of this recording, which was Friday, getting over 300 runs in a T20, which was a run rate of 15.2 per over, is ridiculous compared to getting South Africa out for 158 all out. And it's a great result for England. Harry Brooks putting in his side forward on that fantastic day there. I actually watched the ending to that match because I forgot I was doing something and it was mental. So NFL time now. Miami Dolphins, who need to fire fucking everybody to make sure that I feel like we're doing stuff. So Miami, absolutely horrendous performance, but let's look and have an overview of what happened last week. If you've gone and look, have a look at my socials, which are down below in here, and you will see that I put a graphic up. I do a graphic on my socials every Sunday around about 5 o'clock, where I will put a graphic of all the predictions we make, and I want to hear your predictions as well. Because I put the Eagles to win, which I was right. I then put the Chiefs to win, which I was wrong. I put the Bucks to beat the Falcons. I got that right. I put the Bengals to beat the Browns. I was right. Then I put the Dolphins to beat the Colts, which I was wrong. Fucking wrong. I put the Panthers to beat the Jags, where really I should have gone with the Jags, but I just hate Tony Khan. But the Panthers won that. The Raiders beat the Patriots. I put that. The Cardinals beat the Saints. I put that. The Jets losing to the Steelers. I put that. I put Steelers to win. I put Washington to beat the Giants. I put the Broncos to beat the Titans. And I put the 49ers to beat the Seahawks. And then I also put the Rams to beat the Texans, which I was also right. And then I got into things that was wrong. I put the Lions to beat the Packers. And then I put the Packers to lose twice because I also said that the Washington Commanders would beat them. But now I've decided that Green Bay are now probably got the best team in the league. I put the Bears to beat the Vikings, and it should have done. But then fucking Caleb Williams not really highlighting how good he could potentially be, or maybe this is his limit. And I also put the Ravens to beat the Bills, but then Josh Allen decided to go on a fucking nutcase. So we've got quite a few games up for you this week, so let's get through them. First up, we've got the Ravens versus the Browns. I am going with the Ravens on this one. Next up, we've got the Bengals versus the Jags. I am definitely going Bengals. Next up, we've got Dallas Cowboys against the Giants. Unfortunately for me, how about them Cowboys? Lions against the Bears. I am going to go Lions. Lions looked horrid against the Packers. But that might be just the Packers. We've then got the Dolphins versus the Pats. For the final time, probably this season, until it breaks my heart, I am going Dolphins. Saints versus the 49ers. I am definitely going 49ers. And even without Brock Purdy and George Kittle, I still think that the 49ers have this. We have the Jets versus the Bills. I think the Bills are going to start off and carry on going strong. Steelers versus the Seahawks. I am going to go a bit of Steelers action. I feel like they did well against the Jets, and with a little bit of chemistry, I think they could push on a little bit further. I think they're going to do it great. Titans versus the Rams. I am 100% going for the Rams. The Cardinals are going up against the Panthers. I'm going to go Cardinals. I think they could potentially be a bit of a sleeper one. But I'm going to go Cardinals. Colts versus Broncos. I am going for the Broncos. Not that I have an issue against the Colts, because they absolutely destroyed us. And we made Daniel Jones look like prime fucking Tom Brady. Next up, Chiefs versus Eagles. Oh, where have I written that? That doesn't feel good to me. No, I've written it over there. I don't want to write it over there. I want to write it there. Okay, Chiefs versus the Eagles. I'm going for the Eagles. Eagles. Next up, we've got the Vikings versus the Falcons. I think that's a Sunday night game. I am going to go. This is actually a tough one, because the Falcons actually look quite good. And the Vikings, JJ McCarthy could be him. I'm going to go Vikings, just a little bit safe. Texans versus the Bucks. I'm going to go the Bucks. I just feel Buccaneers are there and Texans are not there yet. So I am going to go Bucks for the Monday Night Football. There's 2 Monday Night Football games, so we will be doing that. We've got the Raiders versus the Chargers. I am going Chargers after their brilliant performance against the Chiefs. I think they're going to carry on with that. Next up, we've got the Thursday Night Football, which will be the lead into Week 3. It is the Bills versus the Dolphins, and I'm going for the Bills. Yeah. I don't want to discuss what I've gone for. Let's just say I haven't gone Miami. I feel very sick. Not going to lie to you. Feel very sick about picking them. But that's going to do it for us this week. Lots of sport we've gone through. Lots more sport coming up. We've got more cricket. We've got Formula 1 coming up for you next week. We're going to get more reviews of the NFL week. We're going to be talking about Premier League action. I think, when does the Champions League start? Because that should be starting soon as well. I'm going to get the Champions League app up here. If you haven't already, go and check my socials. I have a Champions League fantasy league for us. So Tuesday the 16th. So the Champions League starts next week. So let's quickly go through that Champions League action. Let's go through some of the big clubs. We've got Olympic Club, Atletico Bilbao versus Arsenal. I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. Got Real Madrid versus Marseille. I'm going for Real Madrid. Next up, we have got Juventus versus Borussia Dortmund. I'm going to go Borussia Dortmund. Villarreal versus Tottenham. I'm going for Tottenham. On the Wednesday action as well, we've got Paris Saint-Germain versus Atalanta. I'm going for Paris Saint-Germain. Bayern Munich versus Chelsea. Very tough to call. I'm going to go for Chelsea. I just think they might have a little bit too much. And Liverpool will be facing Atletico Madrid. I'm going with the Liverpool because Liverpool seem to be a team that do not want to fucking lose at the moment. Is that all the games? It is. Newcastle and Manchester City start their European campaign. Am I reading this all right? Until the week after. Interesting. Yeah, to the week after. Oh, Thursday. Oh, they're going on Thursday. Okay, so they're going to be facing on Thursday. Right, we got some Thursday action as well. Interesting. Yes, it's great. Fucking five, no stars. I'm not going to review you. Okay, we got some Thursday 18th action as well. I didn't know this. Manchester City are facing Napoli. I'm going to go with Manchester City. Frankfurt versus Galatasaray. I'm going to go Frankfurt. Sporting Lisbon, I'm going to win their game. And Newcastle versus Barcelona, I'm going to go Newcastle because it's Barcelona. And who the fuck knows what's going to happen at St James's Park on a European night. And there's going to be the atmosphere may be too much for them. It was too much for PSG the first time. Is it going to be too much for Barcelona this time? Well, we're going to end it there for you guys. That is going to be the end of the show. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. Lots of sport has happened. Lots of sport is coming up. I waffled on for about half an hour talking about all types of things, Reading Football Club, plus others as well. But if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week for more sports hot takes.